What's going on, everybody? Episode 3 of the Menace and the Don. I'm the Don.
I'm the Menace. Thanks everyone for tuning in. This is episode 3. We wanted this episode to be specifically about us and our background, how we made a podcast, or how we came to this point.
That's something I've really been curious about.
Yeah.
How Mina, the Menace,
How the
end
fuck
up
did
over
I
here
end up here, huh?
in the AV?
It's a long ass story, but fuck it. I grew up in Egypt. I moved. We grew up in Egypt, lower to middle class, kind of.
Yeah.
And we won the green card lottery or lottery. I don't know how. Yeah, I don't know how to say, but yeah, we won that. We every year, pretty much, the U.S. pick families from all over the world to pay a certain fee, and you apply on the website, on their website,
Yeah.
the embassy website. And if you win, you pretty much move out here. They give you the green card as soon as you move.
That's
It's
tight.
not, yeah. So we applied and we won. We heard about it maybe 2 months later after we won, and then I had to wait a year for them to hear back from them again. And we did the interview, and we had to pay a lot. They really tax you, and for a family lower to middle class, we barely were able to pay.
Right.
And I didn't want to come. It's a family thing, so the whole family have to go.
Yeah.
And luckily, my older brother was 21, so he could come with us because if you're not 21, you can't really go. So the whole family decided to leave. But before I left, I didn't want to go. I didn't want to come here. I hated the idea of me leaving. So I didn't want to leave. I had a good life out there. I had a lot of friends. I was playing soccer, and I was playing soccer in the church, and it was fun. It was fun out there. So when I first moved out here, I didn't know any English. And
What age?
16, 17. I finished high school. No, I didn't finish high school. It was 16, 17. And we moved out here. I had 1 year left to go to high school out here. And when we moved out here, we didn't know any English. It was really bad in the beginning. I remember when we first, but somehow we ended up in Palmdale, first of all,
Yeah.
out of all places. My uncle had a restaurant out here, a Greek restaurant. You know where Harbor Sushi is right now?
Yeah.
He used to be a Greek restaurant, and it was my uncle's. And for some fucking reason, we ended up in Palmdale, man. And I remember we, no English whatsoever. Me and my brother, my whole family, barely like words here and there, but no slang, no. You know, if somebody had a conversation with you on the first day, we didn't know it. I remember we pulled up to McDonald's the first day, and McDonald's is in Egypt. It's rich people food.
No way.
Yeah, it's rich people food. We used to go there at, like, on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
That's how rich it was. That's like the occasion place. And me and my little brother Peter, we went there, and obviously we just started like pointing at shit. We don't know how to
Right.
like to say anything. And I remember the guy, the cashier or whatever, he looked at us and he said, after we were done, he said, "For here or to go?" I looked at Peter, and we didn't know. And we was like, Peter was like, "Just say yes." I was like, "All right." And we were like, "Yes." And that's how it went. We
Yeah.
were saying yes a lot when we didn't know what it was. It was like the immigrant mind in a way. I remember my dad still kind of do to this day. Yes. But it would get us in a lot of trouble sometimes. But yeah, we moved out here 16, 17, and then I hated here so much. I had 1 year left in school, but in Egypt, high school is 3 years, not 4. So I would have had 1 year left, but if I came out here, I would have been junior, so I had another year to be a senior. So I made a big deal, and I was like, "No, I don't want to spend. I don't want to spend another year wasting my life. This, and that." Like I had something to do right after and shit.
Mhm.
But my parents said okay, and for a year, me and my mom, we went back to Egypt. We spent that year in Egypt to finish high school, and then we came back. And when we came back, it was like kind of, this is your reality. You're not going back ever. This is where you're gonna live.
What was the biggest cultural difference you saw between Egypt and over here?
Having too much space. Egypt, Cairo is, people think Cairo is a desert, and camels and stuff like that.
They
It's
seen the
not.
mummy and shit too
Yeah,
many
yeah.
times.
People are really. Cairo is like New York almost. It's not like even LA. It's like New York. You take a cab everywhere. You can't park anywhere because there is no space. Cabs are cheap, so you take a cab everywhere. And when you come out here, you need a car for everything. You could go about your day without interacting with anyone. In Egypt, you can't. It's very loud too. Uh, honking the honking is a language in Egypt. Like when you could cuss somebody out with just
No
honking.
way.
Yeah. It's yeah, you can't there's no place in Egypt that's quiet.
Were you already driving?
In
out there?
Cairo, at least, in the capital. Yeah, I was already driving in Egypt. Yeah, it was fun, man. It was a lot of fun. And to this day, when I go back, my friends wait for me at the airport. I have really nice friends. I'm going back in June. Remember I
Yeah.
told you I'm going back in June for my best friend's wedding. It's a very dear place to my heart. It's home. It doesn't matter how I've been here for 10 years, and it's still home to me. It is like when I say I'm going to Egypt, I say I'm going home.
You're going home.
Yeah, it's not the same. But yeah, we moved to Palmdale, and I remember the first 3-4 years I hated it. I was like, man, I'm not living out here. And then I didn't speak the language. I hated having any friends. I didn't try to make any friends, and it was a mentality of I came here, but I'm gonna live with my traditions and my beliefs in here. They gotta adjust to me, not the other way.
Mm.
And then somehow it clicked for me after a few years in school, after a few years of working, that clicked to me that just as much as you want to accept people, no, my bad. Just as much as you want people to accept you, you have to accept them as well. You have to accept their traditions and their beliefs, and to be open-minded in a way. And that's when I started liking out here and being better at everything I do. But before that, like, I hated people. I hated making friends. I hated going out. It was just not. And for some reason, too, in the beginning, people were not welcoming, too. There is something about a guy with a really heavy accent that, like, makes people kind of, like, not being as friendly, you can say. It's that one Egyptian guy kind of thing.
They'll be racist.
Yeah, they be racist, and
Or-
it doesn't
or
matter what
prejudiced.
race they are too.
Yeah.
They be racist, like even and they think it's jokes. And sometimes high school people are mean as fuck,
Yeah.
but they think it's cool to do that.
Yeah.
But when you first moved out here, it's not. I don't know you. I don't know if you're joking or not. I used to get in a lot of trouble doing jokes that under the tongue, or people mumbling jokes like that. Then you end up in the principal's school because you almost beat his ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, but then after that, I went to Shafi school. They had an aeronautics program out there, and I lived out there for 2 years. After living in Palmdale for 5, I lived in Rancho Cucamonga for 2, and then after I finished that, I got hired certain company. They contracted. They put me in a contract while I'm in school.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, 2 years after that, I went to another company, a bigger company, without mentioning no names. And then one day it clicked to me. I always wanted a podcast, but one day it clicked to me that we could do it. And they made it easier for you. It's not as easy, but I think the resources and stuff that you could learn on your own. You could do anything now.
Yeah.
That you put your mind to, and nobody's gonna tell you no. You don't have a network guy telling you say this and don't say that. So
Get down.
yeah, tell the audio guy to lower his voice. But yeah, it was the culture shock, I would say, is that what I told you is being open-minded to people, because as much as you want them to accept you and respect where you're coming from, you gotta do that for them. You gotta understand them and be open-minded to what they're doing, what their cultural beliefs is, and once you do that, I think people are more welcoming to you and their houses and the families and
You're accepted more.
exactly.
'Cause you're not
It's
being
easier.
You're not known as like the dick.
Yeah, yeah. And then there's some stuff too that people don't realize. As much as if you live out here and you think somebody is not as knowledgeable as you, just keep in mind that he knows a lot also about his culture that you don't know. So to him, you're not as knowledgeable too. That's one thing I always struggle with.
Mm-hmm.
People be like, "Oh, I will but small stuff. This is not like." But I'm giving you an example.
Yeah,
It's most but it would be a song playing. If you don't know about this, I'd be like, "You're right. I don't. I wasn't out here when this shit came out."
And
Yeah, like okay. But he'd be like, "You don't know about the culture." I'm like, "I don't. I have my own.
yeah.
I love yours though. I love yours. I appreciate yours. You know."
Yeah.
A lot of that. Be like, "Oh, this shit was popping when I was in high school." I wasn't out here in high school, fam.
I was back in Egypt.
Yeah, I was back in Egypt. I always say that joke.
Yeah.
I'd be like, "Oh, when this came out, I was in Egypt." A lot of times that happened. But yeah, for the most part, that was the culture shock. Not having not speaking any English made it worse. Obviously, I used to go to my cousin's liquor store while he's working, and just sit there and learn the language. But I didn't have a teacher where you gotta learn this and learn that. No, we just came from speaking to people. I barely took English last month in the online school that I'm going to. Yeah, and that's one of the things too. Before that, I never thought about having a podcast because my English wasn't pretty good, and my accent was way worse. And we're three brothers, right? My older brother have a thick accent, and then my younger brother doesn't have any accent at all. So what age you came out here makes really a big difference.
Yeah.
In having an accent or not. Like if you hear Peter speak, Peter don't have any accent at all. But I don't know. It made me who I am. I'm thankful for it. I'm grateful for all of it, the good and the bad. Honestly, the journey was really nice.
The marathon still continues.
Yeah, and my parents are not young. My dad is 75. You know, so when we came out here, he was already retired. Like he left all that. Like imagine if you're retiring and you're gonna take your family and go live in a city or a whole different continent that you don't even know the language of. He's
That's
brave
bold.
for that.
Yeah.
Very brave. My parents got balls for doing that. I give them props every day. If I try to do something for them, I would.
Yeah.
And yeah, when we first came out here, we were not rich either. We struggled in the beginning, and then my dad, because he's retired, we started flipping houses, and it was nice for us. And we helped out the family, me and my two brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I didn't want friends, and I had my own. I had my two brothers. They were my best friends. Well, they still are. But it was like I was very content, you could say, and I didn't want friends. In the beginning. Now I have a lot of friends, as you know. But like if you saw me 5-6 years ago, I didn't have any friends, and I didn't like going out. I barely started going out when I was 27, 28.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I started going out and enjoying that at least, or having friends and enjoying that. But before I didn't. I focused on school, and I had a lot of shit to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a lot of shit. My school was in a couple of days a week. My school was from 7 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon, Monday through Thursday. It was a program. So it wasn't something you could have fun on the side with. It was straight. And yeah, I lived out there, and I would come back and see my parents, and it was just it wasn't a rough journey. It was just journey, you could
You're
say.
just living.
It was just, yeah, it was, you were in it, so you can't
Yeah.
really tell what's hard or what's not. It was just yeah, cultural shock. And to this day, like, I suffer from it in a way. To this day, my favorite music is still Egyptian. Or like, it's dear to my heart. The way I process things probably different from than people, but you know, it made me who I am in a way that my personality is very different. If my personality, maybe if I was born here, I wouldn't be sitting where I'm sitting. Uh, yeah, I don't think I would be sitting where I'm sitting or having the job that I had. Immigrants have this thing. I'm not saying they're better or worse, but they have this thing where it fuels them to prove themselves. I don't know if you ever noticed that. I feel like people who uh, came from another country always have something to prove. When I see a lot of immigrants, I see that it's something dope. You could see there's something they want to prove to the people. They want to, and in their mind too. I didn't leave my fucking country, or I didn't leave back home for me to be a mediocre or regular here. They want to be great. I want to be great. When we first started the podcast, I wanted to be the best.
Yeah.
Not the best podcast, but like the best quality we could give as far as audio and sound. And the talent is like us talking, it will come through. I think it will develop. But to put the work in as far as quality and video and audio, I wanted to be the best. And I think that's something
Yeah, we're gonna be getting there.
It's a requirement for me. Yeah. How the fuck did you end up in Pondo?
Damn. Shit, I don't even know where to start, man. Cause all right, when I was down below, so they say out here in the AV.
Down below.
Down below. So I stayed in Torrance a lot. So I was born in Harbor City, raised in Torrance, went to Torrance L. Everything was chill. That's where I got introduced to skateboarding, and I took that super seriously. After that, you know, when I was a kid, you know, our pops walked out on us, and then we had to live in a garage for a while. And all that shit fucking
That must
sucked.
be hard.
Like it was rough when we were little. My brother left. My mom shipped his ass out to Mexico because he was acting like a butt.
Wow.
And he came back, and he was, I guess, changed.
Did he?
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
good, man. My brother came back good, and like, I'm super proud of seeing like how good my brother is with his kids and with his wife, and how everything's going for him.
That's dope.
And so yeah, like I was pretty much brought up by my mom, and down the road, you know, we had to get out of Torrance, and then I moved to Long Beach. Long Beach, I skated a lot. I would go to the skate park.
Are they close? They're close, huh?
Yeah, the skate parks out there were close. Like, what's funny is like out of the groups of friends that I have, I'm always the smallest one, right? Because obviously I'm fucking skinny.
Yeah.
But somehow I break the most skateboards.
Somehow you eat a lot too, bro. You fucking eat.
No one fucking understands, man. But yeah, so I would just skate a lot, and from Torrance to Long Beach, we went back to Torrance for a while, and then Carson, and then I met my ex, and we moved out to East LA. Now East LA was tight, like it was culturally diverse. Per se, right? So it's like if we want to get Chinese food right there, Japanese food right there, like, you know, go get sushi.
Yeah.
Mexican food. If we want to go get some Indian food over here, everything was cool as fuck. But there was one day where I didn't want to go to work.
What was your line of work back then?
Back then, all right, so fresh out of high school, I worked at fucking Rite Aid, bro.
Yeah.
I was hand dipping ice cream in a blue fucking vest.
Nice.
Just
shout out Rite Aid.
Shout out Rite Aid. Hey, ice cream's bomb.
Their ice cream is bomb to me.
Yeah. So after high school, I started working at Rite Aid. And I was only making enough money to go to work, like paying my insurance and my gas just to go to work, and I would only pocket like $80 every 2 weeks. I was like, God damn, dude, what the fuck am I doing with my life? After that, like, I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going to join the Army. And I only joined the reserves, right? So
from the Rite Aid to the Army, pretty much.
Yeah, from Rite Aid to the Army.
Yeah.
I was like, man, fuck this. I don't want to be flipping burgers and all this shit. And then I become a cook in the Army. Now I'm flipping burgers in the fucking
but
field.
Officially.
Yeah. Like,
but military grade burgers.
But yeah, then after, the military, I did a little basic training and all that shit. And I came back. I got a data entry job at some company, moved my way up. Became the design assistant for the backpacks and chest rigs that they made. And then from there, I met somebody who was going to get a job at SpaceX, and then they tried to get me in. Like, hey, dude, we get your interview. Cool. I went, did the interview, and I got the job, and I was working there for a while. I left SpaceX, went to school for industrial automation, and then I dropped out.
For industrial animation?
Yeah, industrial automation. That? It's like having robots do the job, right? So it's like you're learning how to program and code these fucking robots to do certain things. Like with the CNC machine that I have, like learning how to do stuff like that.
That's dope. But so I dropped out. Yeah, you dropped out.
I dropped out.
How long you stayed in school for?
So I'd say I was in school for about like a year and a half.
Oh, so you did some shit. Like you learned some shit.
I learned something.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and just to kind of go back on the whole East LA story, like when I was living out there, so what made me want to leave was there was a day where I didn't want to go to work, and I stayed home with my ex, and we had to go get some food. I was like, all right, hey, fuck it, let's go to Food for Less. We got groceries and all that stuff. We come back, and I remember seeing a black fire truck come by. I was like, the fuck, I never seen that before. And then I read the side, and it said Special Weapons and Tactics, and I was like, oh shit, like that's the abbreviation for SWAT. Like,
oh, okay.
So SWAT rushed our apartments. They broke down every door to find somebody. And me and my ex, we're just sitting in the car watching all this shit happen. SWAT team fools are just kicking down doors, and we're just watching like.
You were like, they're bad.
Oh shit, like, and then they found someone. I guess our neighbor was doing some shady stuff.
Oh.
And then they arrested him. I was sitting in the car, and I look over at her. I was like, yo, like, I got ice cream in the back. I don't want this shit to melt.
I'm trying to go to my apartment right now.
I was like, let's just go to my mom's. Then after that, I was like, fuck, dude, if I didn't go to work that day, she would have had to have been there and had cops kick down the fucking door. So from there, that's when we left, and I went out to Bakersfield. And
Bakersfield?
Yeah. The only thing I knew about Bakersfield was off Castaway.
Yeah.
When he picks up the porta potty door, Bakersfield, and he fucking yells. So yeah, then after that, I came over here because I was offered a job to work at the company where I met you.
Yeah.
And so they offered me a bonus to go work for them, and then they would help me move. And I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah, I'm down. So I was there for a while. And then I got the call to go overseas and surf my country.
Yeah. That year was rough. I think that year.
Yeah, that shit sucked.
I remember when I used to call you, it looked rough.
Yeah, being away from everybody and seeing all the stupid shit. I met like some cool people, and like I'm very thankful for all that stuff that happened. Shitty stuff happened out there, great stuff happened out there, ups and downs, but that's just part of it, man. Now I made the decision that I want to get out of the military. I saw the military as like a good foundation. Like if you don't have shit going on, if you're just hand dipping ice cream at Rite Aid, only making $80 every 2 weeks to have in your pocket.
It's to get out of shit, pretty much.
Yeah, it's to get out of shit. Like in my head, I always thought the easiest way for a female to get out and make money, become a stripper. The easiest way for a dude to make money,
to some extent,
is join the military.
Yeah, I get you.
Like,
yeah.
Might be.
Well, that was the thinking of everyone too. Like the way people thought back in the days is, oh yeah, you ain't got shit to do. Your pops is gonna enlist you in the military, and you're off you go, kind of thing.
No one believed that I joined the military too when I did.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like the smallest fucking fool. Like,
does it make a difference in the military how big you are and how small?
When I went to go to my NCO school to become a sergeant. They said I was underweight.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm standing on the scale, and they fucking move the little thing around, and they're like, "Hey, Sergeant Miranda, you're underweight." And I just look at him. What are you gonna do about it? If I was fat, okay,
Yeah.
I understand. I gotta exercise and keep my body right.
Yeah.
You gonna feed me?
Yeah, like
I
how
was
you gonna,
like, what are you gonna,
how we gonna fix that?
what are you
So
gonna
did do help you to fix that or?
He just added a couple more pounds on the paper.
Oh, so they needed you so bad they forged it.
Yeah, they just they wrote down like a couple pounds more that I had to be then in that range
Really?
to be like acceptable.
That's crazy. How much did you weigh back then?
I don't remember, dude, but I don't like talking about my weight.
120 and shit. 110 soaking wet.
120 when wet. All right.
But yeah, that's crazy, man.
But yeah.
So wait, from Bakersfield, when you got offered to come to Palmdale,
yeah,
did you know about Palmdale at all, or you ever been here at all, or?
I thought, okay, I bought a little dog at the time. His name is Ranger, Australian Shepherd. I fucking love this dude.
Me too.
I bought him. He's a sick ass dog.
Yeah.
I bought him in Little Rock. And
oh, okay.
When I was in the maps, I thought Little Rock was a piece of Palmdale. I was like, fuck this city.
But yeah, that place, they want to keep it that way. They, I don't know what it is. I'm sorry that you had to. That's how you met Palmdale. But back to your story.
Oh yeah,
that's how you know about Palmdale.
So yeah, I got my dog in Little Rock, and I thought Little Rock was Palmdale. All I thought was like, fuck, I would never move out here. This place is ass. Then I got offered the opportunity to work where I was at. Fuck. I just got on Zillow, looked up some apartment. It looked nice, moved in right there. But after that, after being up here for so long, I started realizing, like, man, dude, I miss Torrance.
Yeah,
like Torrance is tight. Like my little street where I stayed on was Sepulveda and Cabrillo, and that's where me and my friend Jaquise, David, Junkie, Robert, Angel, Claudia, all my friends, Melissa, Karen,
Sharkeisha,
Sharkeisha, no,
Shanisa.
All of my friends lived within a mile range right there, and like in Torrance, like where I lived,
and you guys were close.
Yeah, where I lived, there was a park across the street. There was a Chevron to go get our little snacks, a Jack in the Box for our tacos. The middle school was a couple miles away. Across the street from the middle school, there wasn't shit at middle school, but at Torrance L, we had Torrance High, and my mom's dream was for me to graduate from there, and I did. It's time for another sponsor. Check it out. Flacco's Crafts. Get them while they hot. You want to be a Torrance Tartar and hang this shit up on your wall? Do it. Hit me up.
Hit him up. We'll put the link in the description.
Handmade by me. It's for all my Tartars out there. Tartar pride. Yeah, that's what we are, Tartars. So
that's how we pay the bills.
Yeah, that's how we keep these lights on. But yeah, man, like I would honestly say like my whole like I guess life story was almost like based off of luck, because you know once I got out of the military, I was skating around and I saw a whole bunch of cop cars parked in front of some warehouse. I'm like, what's going on over there? I pull up the next day because I didn't want to go. All those cops were there, and I was like, hey, what do you guys do over here? Oh, we make gear for the military and law enforcement. Oh, that's cool. As I was asking, the owner of the company comes inside and he looks at me. He's like, he looks at my hair. Hey, you just come back from basic? And I had the big ass fucking glasses. I was like, yeah. He's like, do you have a job? Nah. You want to work for me? The fuck? Yeah.
You didn't know the guy. Yeah.
I didn't even know him. And he offered me a job on the spot, right? So I'm working with him. And then from there, based off that, I met somebody who worked at SpaceX. Then from there, having SpaceX on my resume, being in Bakersfield,
having SpaceX will get you anywhere, honestly. Yeah. SpaceX is a big company, especially back then.
Yeah.
With Elon Musk and all that.
And then when I was living in Bakersfield, some stuff happened where I had to move, but I didn't have no way out. And then all of a sudden, here comes this company that wants me again, right? And then it's just like, so far, everything has been luck, dude. Like, like my stars or whatever.
It fell into place.
Everything fell into place, man. And now it's just like for me to, you know, to be able to have my own crib, my nice cars, a bike, all this fucking shit that, you know, that's nice, I would have never thought of, because I would have been one of those statistics where it's just like, you know, a single Hispanic mom with the kid. Obviously, the kid's going to be a fuck up and all this other shit. Like, nah, like, joined the military, did my shit in Afghanistan, Qatar. Kuwait was fucking easy. They got Popeyes and a green bean, dog. after doing all that stuff, man, it's just like it made me proud of myself. It's like, damn,
That's
dog,
dope.
like,
Yeah. Yeah, it's different. And then you gotta keep in mind that, for me at least, that I was in a place where not a lot of things happen. Egypt was really going through a lot already. The revolution and all that was, you as a kid, you didn't really enjoy life. You had to stay low. You had to lay low, especially with Christians too. Um, you had to lay low. You couldn't go outside. You can't. Even soccer was taken away at some point. Uh, but when you come out here, the opposite of that. You could do anything. You could go anywhere.
yeah,
Coldplay be touring in LA. Shit like that you can never dream to see. Like, people take that for granted here. But for me, let's say I want to go see any rap group or rap artist or any kind of event or festival. You don't have that back there. You don't have that back home. Yeah, when I lived out here, the image of the Americans wasn't that great
right.
at all. It's Hollywood, Scarface, stuff like that. I thought it was like Miami, first of all. I thought all the U.S. had beaches and it's nice all year round and all that. Luckily, we came to California, so it's kind of similar in a way.
But unfortunately, Palmdale.
Yeah, unfortunately, Palmdale. I don't know what the fuck were we thinking, man. And then once you see, as my parents, I don't blame them for keeping us in Palmdale, because Palmdale is a safer place than LA. And it's cheaper for the parents to afford.
Yeah.
But you're gonna keep your kids away from the gangs, away from the bullshit that be happening.
Right.
But back to the image that I was saying of Americans, is that a lot of you either have a really good opinion about Americans, or damn, they're fucking dumb. There's no in between,
Nah.
And a lot of times it's bad. It's not good. A lot of times they just know about music and art and that, but unless you come and live out here, it's a whole different system. And people are sophisticated and they do have a culture. People say they don't have culture. We do have culture. It's just very different than theirs, so they wouldn't understand it.
Right.
We obviously don't have like the European culture or the African culture. They've been there for years. But we do have a culture that we made our own. We're barely starting. We have spoons in Egypt that's older than this country.
Damn.
Yeah, Egypt is really old and really like, you go out there, oh yeah, this was here from the 1800s. This was here from the the Holy Family passed through to Egypt. You could go to that tree where they laid down and all that and visit. So Egypt is, and you come out here, is the very opposite of that. Everything is modern. They want it to be modern. We starting from here forward, kind of. We're gonna make our history,
right?
And I like that idea too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't have to come with other people's culture, and at the same time, it's dope because it's mixed from everywhere. That's what I like about California. I'm lucky that we didn't go to another state,
I like
because it's a mix from a lot of cultures. You could go to Chinatown. You could go to Little Italy. You could do a lot of stuff in there.
You come to me.
Yeah.
I'm my daughter's way.
It's a very it's a lot of cultures that's mixed together, and they to a certain extent they expect each other to a certain extent. Not all of them do, but.
And you got your little landmarks too, right? In one weekend, I was able to fucking go down to Venice, skate, come back home in the desert, right? So I go from the beach to the desert, up to the mountains to go snowboard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. That's very dope. It's something if you're born out here, we don't appreciate. But as a foreign guy, you do look at it and be like, oh, we actually got it. Like, we actually have it made. We just don't appreciate it because we're here in it every day.
Yeah.
That's something
you get used to it.
Yeah, you get used to it. It's like, oh yeah, we do this. But for a guy from the outside, if you sit back and look at it, like look at what you're doing, it's very unique what we do.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of people don't get to do that. That's what made you want to have a podcast, or what made you, because this episode is about us before we start interviewing people, so we're trying to make the people know as much as info as about us before we start having people on.
Yeah.
But what made you This is a good idea, pretty much.
I don't want to say like I'm not a gambling man, but I'm not a losing man either, so I'm always right.
Whatever, bro. Yeah, but I know what you mean.
What about you though? Like, what made you want to start?
I wanted a platform, dude. I wanted a platform. I always wanted to speak my mind.
Yeah.
Like even in school, I always wanted to speak my mind. Not in a loud way. It's just like I feel like I have a different view of things. Even with people that I grew up with, I have a different point of view, and that's and it takes a toll on me not saying it. I feel so. It was like this is what we were made to do in a way. I really think so. You remember I told you I think this is what I was made to do. Like in my mind, this is not a experiment. This is actually gonna happen. This is gonna work. This is not. I'm putting my all in, and like it's not a hit or miss. This is not a gambling thing for me. This is gonna work. I think we have this right shit to do, and we have the right equipment. After a long trial of, after a long way of trial and error, we finally have the equipment, the talent we could work on and make it better. And I feel like we have a platform, we have a voice, and then if we want to branch out to some other shit to show our talents in other industries, that's cool. But this is the main one, and it's gonna work. And that's how I imagined it. If you go back and you tell a kid when I moved out here that I'm going to have a podcast and stuff, no. The idea of a podcast came to me after I saw Joe Rogan interview somebody that's very normal. Like he started like interviewing his friends. Mm-hmm. People don't know who that is. But I was like, if he could do that with normal people that don't have any other talents and they're just there because they're personality is dope and they could present themselves well and talk to the cameras and do that, then we could do it. And that's how it is. This is how the gig came up. But
I was always embarrassed to speak up in front of people. Like if someone's were to be talking shit, I'll be quick to say some shit back.
Yeah.
But like when it comes up to like, you know, when in the class and they'd be like, does anyone have any ideas on how to like whatever, like shit like that?
I was not. No, I was a bad student. Like I remember at some point at senior year in Egypt, the teacher asked me if he could like explain some shit this course, like this class.
Yeah. Like
he was asking me like, can I do that? Like he's asking. And towards the end of the year, me and my my best friend Mahmoud, shout out Mahmoud, we beat up a teacher.
Get the fuck.
Yeah, I swear, we beat up a teacher, and it was the first time in this that school history that a teacher get beat up. But we were already seniors.
All right, what provoked it? You can't just...
I'm gonna tell you the whole story right now.
I'm
gonna tell you the whole story, and this is honest to God. You could ask Mahmoud, or you could ask anyone. It became really popular. And senior, I was the same height. So we were already a grown ass man. Mahmoud was way bigger. Mahmoud is a big ass dude. Like to this day, he's fucking yay high to me. 6'2", 6'3", fucking huge. He used to beat up his older brother. But yeah, in school it's very strict as far as school. You attend 4 classes and then 4 other ones, and between there's lunch. The guy, the class before lunch, he said he was explaining, and the bell for lunch went off, so we're supposed to go, and he said nobody move, we're staying through lunch. I flipped the desk. I flipped the desk because I wanted to go lunch. So I flipped the desk. I don't know what I was thinking, but
you're a little shit.
Yeah, bro, I was really bad. So I flipped the desk, and the teacher came running. He was gonna push us. He had history of hitting students. And by the way, teachers in Egypt, they can hit. They can hit people.
Do they have a paddle?
pal or with their hand, and they used to fuck us up good too. Like, so he was coming. Mahmoud didn't like he was on the side. He started. I give him the second one. We kept punching him, and until the other students like put him away, like separated us.
Good.
And I was suspended for 2-3 weeks. But they got us back. It was because he was coming to hit us, and everybody witnessed that. So
you know,
my mom came to school, and everybody's like, my mom thinks I'm an angel. Obviously, I'm not. She doesn't think I'm a bad.
She came at the teacher like, why the fuck?
And everybody is like, you're Mina's mom. You look nice.
Damn.
She was like, what the fuck you be doing?
Yeah. I had an embarrassing high school story. Where, all right, so there was a day where I had no clean pants, right? And so I would always go to my friend David's house, and then from there we would skate over to school. And I asked him, I was like, hey, dog, you got any clean pants I could wear? He's like, yeah. So at the time, wearing skin-tight pants was the shit. And that's all I
never got that.
So that's all he had left. I was like, fuck, dude. I was like, all right. And so I put them on, and fucking, there's my legs, just skinny bone Jones, right? Gives me the pants. I put them on, and they were kind of like tight, and like the pants went up, right? So it looks like my pants were flooded. So I started sagging them, and I hardly ever sag, right? So I'm sagging my pants. I'm skating to school. I hear people honking. I'm like, all right, whatever. Then we would go upstairs, drop the skateboards off, then go about our day for school. Now, after my second period class, I'd always walk with my little high school sweetheart. I got friend zone, but I would walk with her up to my locker, which was like upstairs in the A building at Torrance High. Now, she would walk in front of me, and I'd walk behind her. But on this day, for some reason, I walked in front of her, and she was walking with one of her friends. And I just kept hearing them giggle. I just, what the fuck is going on? All right, so I get on top of the A building, and then my locker was on the bottom. I bend down, I open my locker, and I still hear him kind of giggling. I'm like, all right, this is getting kind of weird. Whatever. I noticed people kind of staring at me, and I thought it was because of my pants, right?
It's too tight? It was too tight?
They were tight. I'm a small dude, man, so like for tights, for
yeah, they gotta be tight.
They gotta be tight, right? Yeah. So we had this thing where I would eat at the A building, which is like over here, and then once we finished eating, we walked down to the C building during lunch. On the way down, people are just staring at me. I'm like, dog, what the fuck is going on? I get to my 6th period class, right? And I was missing a pencil. And I was like, fuck. I asked the guy in front of me. I was like, hey, dude, is it cool if I leaned up. I was like, hey, man, can I borrow a pencil? He's like, yeah. He gives me a pencil. And then I sit down, and I feel the plastic on my bare ass, dog.
I breathe coming.
Like the plastic, dog. I felt the plastic on my ass, and I was like, no. And then after that, like, I put my hands on the desk, and I move aside. Oh, no. My face gets red. My ears get hot.
And nobody told you?
Nobody told me, dude. Oh, girl could have told me.
Yeah.
From the very beginning, but
she's your friend too, no?
Yeah. She was like the one I had a crush on. So I put my hands down. I was like, oh, fuck, no. Then after that, I thought of everything I did for the whole day. Everything you're not supposed to do when you have a hole in your fucking underwear, dog.
Oh,
I had a hole in my underwear.
Yeah.
It was like this big. How does a hole get that fucking big? So from there, like, I went through everything. And then from there, the last memory I had was when I asked homeboy for the pencil. I leaned forward. I had 2 like Indian twins who sat behind me, and they saw my asshole for sure because I bent over and they just see asshole like right in front. I was like, oh no. Then from there, this is when I was living in Long Beach and I went to school in Torrance.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm not going back home to Long Beach in these skin tight pants and a fucking hole in my underwear. I went to my friend Angel's house. I knock on the door. And then his older brother gets the door. Hey, dog, I got a weird request. He's like, what's up? Can I borrow some underwear and some basketball shorts? And he starts laughing. What the fuck happened? I was like, I got a big ass hole in my underwear, dog. I need to take the bus, and I don't want my bare ass touching these 30 ass seats. He's like, yeah. He comes inside, gives me the shorts and the underwear. I go change. On the way to the room, I see a female sitting inside of his room. She's just fucking laughing. it doesn't end, dude. Like, I just keep getting embarrassed. I get the shorts and everything. I go home. Whatever. That's it.
Yeah.
That day's over.
That's
my ears,
funny.
they cool down. My face turns back to being brown.
I
I'm
bet
good.
too.
The next day, I started asking
That's
Homegirl, like,
hilarious.
I asked him, like, yo, how come you didn't say anything? She had a cute, she's like, you had a cute little butt. I was like, oh my gosh. But yeah, that's just like,
That's your girl? That's just kidding.
It didn't scar me like, oh, it's the most embarrassing. I was like, fuck, everybody saw my ass.
Yeah.
But the two Indian twins in the back.
You had the whole day.
But yeah, that's shit was rough. But yeah, this kind of like this wraps up.
It's wrap. Yeah, it's wrap. It's a episode we had to do to tell you guys who we are, and before we start interviewing people, I think from starting next week, I don't know who we're gonna have yet, but
we'll have somebody.
We'll have somebody. Even if we interview people in the streets or whatever, there's just at least you know the base right here.
You know your characters.
And then after that, it goes on. But thank you for tuning in.
Thanks for staying on.
Yeah, we'll see you next Thursday.
Next Thursday?
Hopefully.
Okay, give him a time because we still don't know.
At 6. 6? Yeah, at 6 to 6:15. It depends on how fast YouTube uploads. But yeah, we'll see you guys next Thursday.
All right, cool.
Thanks.
Bye.